So everybody's on you guilty first.
Okay, because that would be the biggest thing too, possible.
Yeah, we'll have that in the next.
Yeah, you said that you're taking about too. See where you have 42 inches. Yeah. No, I think you're doing a good job for letting people look at the stuff that you do up there. Oh, sorry. Pass on, no. Not a problem. I didn't have to.
Sounds like me. Well, you know where it's at. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You should.
Cooler, and it's a cooler one. Kind of hot.
Cancel your other meeting?
Yeah, we want to see what you did for a little.
Already starting first thing in the morning.
I'll tell you.
You must know good.
I got you, Carrie.
Great, thank you.
No stretching.
I just did a few minutes and I was so angry.
Sure, how are you? Good. Back's a little sore from water.
Was it?
Barbecue last night. Yes.
Listen to the radio.
Listening to
You know, I didn't, you told me you weren't.
Well, as I was walking out, Penny had it on her phone. And I couldn't help myself.
Have you ever watched Bugs at night or like?
I watched a car accident in slow motion, knowing it was gonna happen, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Oh, I thought Chris was. He was here. Where's he?
Oh, shoes. Where's Eric?
He's here, right here.
So you said you needed to go first?
Yeah. Hey, I've got a complaint about Frog Hollow, it's not done yet.
I got complaints too. 4 months.
It's looking good though.
Thank you.
That city was flying down Frog Hollow from the top this morning, lights and siren. If they couldn't get it to the bottom, it was gonna fire.
ready?
Yeah.
Call commission order. Any minutes or reports, Patty?
I do, I have the county clerk's fees for May and the recorder of deeds fees for May. And that's all.
Commissioner committee liaison reports or announcements of upcoming meetings and/or events.
Salute to America today, noon.
Is there some reception or something tomorrow night
Thursday Night Live kickoff.
on the 6th? Did you see that?
Yeah. So there'll be a tent down there in front of Central Bank for that.
Okay.
Coconut Communities in the morning.
Yeah, I will not be able to make that.
Extension tomorrow night. Board of Alliance tomorrow night. Eastside Business Association Friday morning.
Okay.
Zoning meeting Monday.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that.
Planning Commission meeting Tuesday.
Zoning Monday. Yep, I got that. And that's going to be at the EMS building.
Mm-hmm.
It's our last one. All right. First item on the agenda, accounts payable review.
Yeah, everything was good, but Jeff and I both had something in there, so
Oh,
we just need to pull
So-
one out and vote
all
it.
right. Who's this one?
That's Jeff's.
All right. I entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable with the exception of Jeff's.
So those.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Yes.
Let the record reflect that Chris abstained. Now I would entertain a motion to approve Jeff's reimbursement.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Let the record reflect that Jeff abstained. MoDOT supplemental agreement.
Back in April of last year, we signed an agreement with MoDOT when we received the Safe Routes to Schools grant for $250,000. And in that agreement, it had a timeline for different stages of the project. One of the items was bidding and constructing in 2014. We requested that be pushed to 2015 due to the Business 50 project going on and the conflicts with that, with the route where this project's going to be would be the detour for the Business 50. They gave us verbal approval of that, and we have a supplemental agreement to change the dates in there, and that's what I have for you all to sign. And the dates for bidding is in January of next year with construction award by March. So I recommend approval.
This is a contract with MoDOT, right?
Yeah, it's MoDOT, or actually Highway Transportation Commission.
MoDOT. Yeah. All right. Entertain a motion to approve the contract with MoDOT to supplement the dates.
So moved.
Second. Call roll, please.
Mark,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Yes. A roll call vote. That's approved. You guys are going over to MoDOT 10.
10 o'clock, yep.
Carry the flag for us.
Every day. No, I think we'll be all right. Don't see Larry as well.
I think it'll be fine. I think
Hey,
he said
Betty.
he's got your back, Eric.
When you guys sign this, make sure you sign where it says county clerk, not where it says secretary to the commission.
Well, I feel like it half the time.
Yeah, but that's the other commission.
What am I saying?
Hey, we had
Hold on.
Marvin's back, so.
we had an
Gonna be
issue come up this
secretary.
morning.
File these
The
for me.
creek management pre-bid.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, I think, once we
No.
I may
get
need
these
them
guys
today.
done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the discussion of courthouse modifications and update. Carrie, hiding behind the pole as usual. How many people can we get behind the pole?
You know, none of us can see him back there somehow.
Please just turn a microphone towards you or carry one around, your choice, so that folks out there can hear you.
Greg, can you hit the lights? Oh, sorry, there they are.
Sorry.
There we go.
Okay, what we have today is a couple of items. One, you requested an update of the floor plans based on the last meeting. So we have that of each level. We also are to the point where this is being put into CAD, electronic drawings, and also we have coming in a very short couple of weeks a report to you that also includes narratives from all the engineering disciplines. So mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, civil, and they're all here today. One, just so you can put a name with a face, but also they'll be doing some field work today at the building and around the site. So again, this is not the finished report, but these are the plans that will be in the next milestone submittal to you. The shaded area is the existing facilities. So again, you see the main courthouse, and you see the alley level of the Sally Port and the inmate holding. And on that level, we can get an addition to the west coming out. This is the sidewalk, and this is Monroe Street out here. The alley is there. And the next slide shows you a little blow-up of that. It's about 1,160 square feet possible there with a communicating stair in between. We know that there's several county functions being considered for that square footage. Depending on what that is, it can have an internal communicating stair. It could also have a door in this area directly onto the sidewalk. In other words, along the alley, and this portion of the sidewalk is on grade. Otherwise, to the south, it starts to slope upward, and this part becomes underground. But again, this is the existing lowest level of it's currently being used as inmate holding and Sally Port. So this can be other county functions. It could also be accessed from here, from the Sally Port, if you would ever need that now or in the future. But right now, we're just showing it as raw space, about 1,100 square feet. The next slide. Going up to the next level. Oh, go back one. Going up to the next level, you have a grade change from the sidewalk. You go up about 3 feet. Sloped up to this stairs about a foot, about 3.5 feet up to this landing. And then once you enter the courthouse, you climb about 3.5 more feet. So the point is, standing out here in the grass at the top of this stair, you're 7 feet from the main floor of the courthouse. So that's the challenge for ADA accessibility. Next. This is the second floor of the courthouse. You all have authorized us to go get some field information. You authorized that in your last meeting. We have the preliminary information of elevations from CMPS. Paul is here today from Central Missouri Professional Services. The little red numbers are some of their field notes that they're gathering and working on for us right now. But again, this confirms the elevations from the main floor out to the lawn and out to the sidewalk. So any new construction here would need to be on level with the rest of the courthouse, and then we have to transition back down to the lawn. Next. This is an enlargement of the addition to the north. Again, you have the existing courthouse. You can get about 12 workstations in this area. It's about, I believe, 1,500 square feet. Yeah, 1,500 square feet of new space here. Now, depending on what ultimately goes in there, it would probably be a combination of offices and workstations, but we just showed there that you can get 12 workstations in there. If you have a communicating stair down below, that would be here. But coming up off the lawn, you would have stairs and an ADA ramp coming up. So this would be the secure vestibule that's currently housed in the basement of the courthouse. It's the same width that's down there now, so we know we can get the metal detectors in there. It does have a small office for security personnel. But this would be the public entrance to the courthouse. It's accessible by stairs and by a ramp. Once you're in here, you're on grade with the rest of the courthouse. You have access to the existing elevators that are already there. Also, over here is an open room that we've currently labeled that as deliberation. Juries could meet in here. You can come from the public side in the public corridor out here. You can also come down a secure stair from the courtroom above into the deliberation room. These restrooms can be managed either from the public side. They would be open as just additional restrooms. We know we're woefully inadequate in the existing courthouse to today's standards. But also you can lock those off and dedicate those restrooms to a jury deliberation room. And again, the jury can circulate to and from courtroom via this stair by locking this door and going up and down that stair, sort of back of house. And in the jury deliberation room is just under 1,000 square feet. So it's significantly larger than the deliberation room you have now, which is 2 of these small rooms over here size. And again, you can see Paul's field notes of these elevations we're tracking to make sure everything lines up, and we're still connecting to the lawn and the sidewalk out here. Next. This would be the 3rd floor of the existing building. There you can see the large courtroom right there, and we're trying to come up with another larger courtroom in this complex. Next. You can see in this red line we have about 1,350 square feet of space in the current large courtroom, and this is 2,250 square feet. So just to give you a comparison of the existing larger courtroom and the proposed large courtroom. And obviously there's still support spaces backstage for judges and clerks. That's here. So again, this is all back of house, accessible through this door. The jury could circulate through that stair down to the deliberation room. Otherwise, judge, reporter, clerk, marshal can all circulate back of house here if you lock that door, or you can unlock it and let the public use it if you so choose to go back down to the secure lobby. Zooming in. We know we have the pieces and parts in the courtroom. I think from today's meeting, if you'll authorize us, we need to sit down and count every inch between all these tables with the judiciary staff. Again, we know we have the pieces and parts. We have the clerk, the judge, the reporter, the witness. Attorneys' tables. With the larger courtroom, we can get a 3rd table in there if it's needed. This back area is elevated. This actually shows 12. I understand we need to revise that to show 15 in there. But again, a ramp back down off the elevated area to the back of house, judges' chambers, or to the stair for the jury deliberation. So jury can easily get out right here. We know that the judges will have a lot of input from this. We've got the basics in there right now, and this is showing seating for 80 in the audience. So 80 plus 15 plus these folks, you're at 95 or 100. Previous drawings showed 100 seats out here, but we had some concern about enough room up here for attorneys to conduct their business at court. So the judges said that they would be willing to have a gallery of 80 here to make sure we had room up there. And then also you could bring chairs in and add, I suppose, in a crowded situation, more chairs back here. And then, of course, over here you can see sight lines. You don't see into the judges' chambers, or once you're down here, judges' chambers, reporter, clerk, marshal, a reception area if the public ever needed to come in there. But you can circulate all back here, back of house, plus that stair. The next floor up, the next time we come here, I would envision 2 options for you. One showing a roof screen with a well for mechanical equipment. Up here, both existing relocated and or new mechanical equipment for the new construction. And you have access from the existing corridor out onto that roof. We would recommend that if you build this, you build the roof as if it's a future floor. In other words, the load capacity could handle a future floor, which is a significant upgrade in the structural strength of that roof assembly, so that you could add on a future floor. Or if you had the money now and so chose you want to do it now, it would look like the next slide, which is not this one. There you go. This will be another floor up, and you can go ahead and zoom in on that. Again, you would have 2,250 square feet over here, right at 1,000 square feet over here, be it for future court space or additional county functions. You'd have the corridor, you'd have the restroom core stacked on top of the other floors, and you'd have this stair that could be managed by court staff either for public use or back of house use. So I would expect in the next meeting we come here, we'll have line item choices for whether that's a roof, shell, or completed 4th floor. These are some of the square footages that are currently under consideration in all the county facilities. So we put this in here for you just as you compare of who could use some of that generic type office space in the courthouse on the alley level and the 1st floor. And this is the attic level course, we'll be looking out onto a roof. And that's it. Also here today, Dave Weber, if you could raise your hand, structural engineer. If you think about the jail and the courthouse were two separate buildings at one time, totally separate, with an overhead bridge to take prisoners from the top floor. Since then, it's been infilled. And I'm sure that some of that infill is simply depending on the two historic exterior walls that were there. So to completely annihilate the south wall of the jail probably isn't feasible. We're probably going to have to leave part of that intact and build and attach to that. And so Dave's job will be to figure out how to leave that intact, brace it, and incorporate it into the new construction. Did I say that right? So that will be one of the main things on Dave's, as well as obviously the framing, footings, and evaluating the old footings to see what we can put on top. Remember, we're changing from a masonry load-bearing structure to a steel structure to lighten it up, to make sure that we have the footing capacity of using the existing footings. Dana Tennell with Tennell & Associates will be handling mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So we're hoping that he can hook up with Greg today to talk about both the existing equipment that will likely stay and be relocated to the roof, but also the MEP requirements of this new construction. So Dana will be touring today and talking to Greg. And CMPS, Central Missouri Professional Services, again, last meeting you approved us doing some field work for some elevations. They're actually working on that, which is survey work, to tell us exactly the elevation and utility conditions that are out there. That's information that the Commission's providing us to design on top of. After that, they will be actually helping with the sidewalk, grading, excavation work, and the civil engineering drawings. So, it's kind of a snapshot of where we are today. Any questions?
Chris?
Nope.
Jeff? Where next?
Where next? Here. We'll be coming back here with a narrative from each one of these disciplines, this in CAD, updated cost estimate that you've already seen, but it'll have their input into it, the options for the fourth floor, and a detailed schedule of all the steps to finish design if you decide to move forward, bid, and construction.
How long
How long? How long what?
till you come back?
I would say end of this month, beginning of July.
You tell me.
Will those work for you guys?
June 25th or July 2nd? Oh, wait a second. Can somebody not do the 25th of June? We don't have an agenda that day. It's a Wednesday.
I don't know, they might not have just scheduled one.
June 25th or July 2nd, your choice.
July 2nd. You give me those choices.
June 18th. We can move the other direction real quick. Okay, July 2nd.
Not July 3rd, right?
Not July 3rd. Wednesday, July 2nd.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah, we have an agenda already set for then, so that works perfect. And we do need a copy of the CMPS contract
Okay.
that you were going to send us.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah. Since we voted and approved it, we do kind of actually have to sign it. One of those little
Yeah.
technicality things,
They obviously
right?
are not waiting for their contract to get started, so.
Have we ever waited for contracts?
You know, I'm not sure I'd say that in this room. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all very much. Nice to meet everyone, and those of you we know, thanks for coming back again. We sure appreciate it, and look forward to continue to move this project forward, and we'll see you all on the 2nd of July. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
By the way, just FYI, I talked to Judge Beadham, and they agree that the space configuration that you have works for what their needs are. Obviously, they'll want to sit down with you and
Is
work
that
through.
okay to go ahead and do now that?
Yep.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call a meeting with them. We really need to go over we know the room's right, the size, because the alley's not flexible, the courthouse not flexible, the sidewalk's not flexible. But we need to count all the stuff and make sure it's all in there the way they want it.
The only other issue that I can think of you may need to look at is simply numerically bathrooms. Because
Are you sure you want to go there?
Well, I'm just wondering if on the entry floor with that huge amount of space where we can put all those cubes, et cetera, if we couldn't put bathrooms in there too.
Okay. Well, we're
And allow a little larger access, because the courthouse is under
Oh yeah, and
facilitated.
We're certainly improving the situation.
Right.
I don't know that we're going to have all the count that is actually required for the crowd, but we'll give you those numbers.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you all very much again. We sure do appreciate it. Oh, there's the judge. I spoke for you already. Sorry, John. I didn't see you out there. Any comments? We said put it on your tab.
But you don't have to go to the legislature, you can go see it.
Yeah, it'll probably get withheld or vetoed.
We spent some time with Carrie, we looked at the space, we thought, I think there's a lot of furniture moving among the spaces, but we thought that the space was adequate and addressed the concerns that we had to allow us to move forward for the next 20 years and provide for the needs of the county. And, certainly more bathrooms, that's the number one thing I hear from jurors.
I did ask the question if, with the review of these plans, we thought we were ready to sit down with the judiciary folks and make sure we had the details within that room right, because we're putting that into CAD now. So,
Well, that's the next step, but just
Yeah.
the measuring part of it and looking at, the space allowed.
okay.
I don't know if anybody in this room has been on jury duty, but anyone who has been on jury duty will talk to you about having to sit on the floor, having to sit on the stairs, having to stand in line, and I thought that what you showed us preliminarily met a lot of those concerns as well as the concerns for access.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you still going to talk about it?
That's what's next.
That's what's next, all right.
So we'll let everybody who wants to leave, and we'll move on to the next item. We'll give it a second, get the lights back on, et cetera. Turn the heat lamps off. I got a 10.
I don't think I have those.
You got those?
I think those are on your side.
Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion of jury room improvements. And Greg, you want to come on forward? John, you want to come up here? I put this on the agenda. As you know, we're redoing the jury room up there. We moved Maryland out. There was a request to see about putting a sink so there could be water in the jury room in. I asked Greg to go ahead and talk to GBH and get an estimate. And did we get that? Did everybody get a copy of that?
I think everybody
Okay.
did.
It's like just under 4,000, wasn't it?
No, it's over.
Is it over?
4169.
Okay, there you go. It would be a change order to the existing contract, and before we move forward on it, I wanted to have the opportunity for all of us to discuss and then make a decision: do we want to do this or not? And I know Judge had indicated that that's an issue in jury rooms to have be able to have water in there, and I wanted to bring it up here so we could make a decision. So I think we should probably do it. That's my opinion. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I mean, it's not real cheap, but
No, that's my hang up with it is an absorbent cost.
and I asked Greg to explain that a little bit. So go ahead.
Exorbitant cost is their core drill. They're going to have to cut through a bunch of down to the third floor. They're going to have to tear out some of the paneling in the old jury room downstairs, run new lines up, run new vent lines out, and the cost also is related to paying prevailing wage for the job.
Yeah, there's no water on that wall on that floor.
At all.
That's the problem. So we have to pull it up from
Told me that
below.
earlier because I asked him about it. So what is the deal with it? Because it's just.
I was very surprised. Yeah. We were all shocked at the cost when we saw it, but then when you realize there's no way to pull the water easy, it makes a little more sense to me.
So there's no bathroom on that floor?
There's bathroom, but the water and sewer lines are on the opposite side of the structure, as I showed Mark the other
I
day.
don't know if we have that. You got that what Kerry was just looking at, those floor
No,
plans.
no, I don't have what he's just looking at. I've got the old ones.
That's fine, because it shows that floor.
Yeah.
On one of the pages, I think it shows that floor.
Pick a page.
Okay. Thought he had one where it showed the whole floor. Is this it? That's third floor. Well, you can't see it on here, but this is, because this is the third as opposed to the fourth. But the bathrooms are here on the upper floor. All the fixtures are on this wall, and none of them on that wall. Guess not. It only has the third floor. So I guess we're not doing the fourth, are we? That's the third floor, isn't it?
No, because they've
Is that
got,
fourth?
that's where the old sink and stuff is at.
Is that the fourth floor? That's the third floor. Yeah, third floor. That's the existing jury room.
And this next one's gonna be right above
The
it?
break
Right.
room, basically.
So you got to bring the line up through the floor.
I don't know, it still seems crazy. I don't know, I'd like to look at it some more. I'm not gonna decide on it today. I don't know, I guess you're probably needing to decide pretty soon, but,
They're gonna start on that room Monday.
I mean, where was this at when we were designing it?
I don't think anybody ever talked about what to do with that room aside from take out Maryland's stuff and make it a jury, make it a jury
Yeah.
room. I don't think anybody ever talked about.
The guidance I was, put some cabinets in it, finish the floor and turn it and go.
What cabinetry were we going to put in there? Just
There's 12-foot of cabinets, upper and
Counter.
lower, countertop.
upper and lower? What do we need upper cabinets for in there?
That's something that they, before we bid it, they request for storage for their candy and whatever else they store in there, supplies.
12-foot of cabinetry?
That's what they've got down below.
I mean, they're still using a second floor break room as a jury room, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, the third floor.
I don't know. Seems like very expensive, and I don't know. I don't know that it's needed.
Take out half the cabinets and use the savings to put in the sink.
I think those have already been made.
Yeah, what are they gonna use the water for? Wash their
Well,
hands?
and they make coffee in there, they eat lunch in there. I mean, if you go through it, I mean, we have a number of jurors that bring their lunch. When you're selecting a jury, you got, 75 to 100 people milling around.
Well, we got bottled water. That's what I'm asking is what is the difference between them having access to bottled water?
So you're talking about put a water cooler in there instead of putting a sink in?
For $4,000, yes. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it a need or a want? So,
I mean, bottle
We need it, I mean, it's,
bottled water is much more expensive in the long run because you have to pay every month for more water bottles.
they're gonna probably have a water dispenser up there anyway.
Is there bottled water in the jury room currently?
I think we supply bottled water and sodas when all those people do. I mean, it's one of those deals where we need a jury room, and then it would be nice, and it's,
I've never had to do jury duty before, so I don't know how much of a pain it is to be in there without a sink. I don't know.
I mean, people that do jury duty, they they effectively volunteer their time. I mean, they get paid, what, $18 a day?
$18 a day.
I don't know that providing them with a sink is that great an extravagance to allow them to be able to get some water, make coffee, things of that type.
I mean, are we talking about a jury or are we talking about a jury panel? I mean, are you talking about 100 people or are you talking about 12 people?
Well, both would use the room. It would depend upon what part of the trial you're in. If you're in the initial part of the trial, then there would be a lot more people, mill around. I mean, we need places to park people because we got, when we're picking a jury, we got people sitting on the stairs, we got people sitting on the floor. you already told me, you looked at it and you can't connect the bathrooms directly, so we're gonna not be able to lock that off.
I mean, I'm just looking at it. I mean, we're going to have effectively, if we go forward with this new building, we're going to have 3 jury rooms. I mean, I don't think that's going to solve the solution of where to park 100 butts if they're, you know, if we're having a panel. So, I mean, I assume if we build a new building, that it's going to have a sink in it, and it's going to be Cadillac. And we got another room that's got a sink in it, and it's got everything in it. And so, I mean, it's probably a minimal cost in the whole scheme of things, but at the same time, it's still $4,000.
So, what's the say?
I'd say hold off on it for now, because just for that particular reason, if we're building another jury room and we've got one that has a sink, let's work with that. If it becomes an issue later on, then
We can always add it.
let's address it then.
Works for me.
I mean, I agree that if they're there doing their civic duty and it is a pain, you want them to be comfortable.
It's hard enough to get jurors. So many people don't want to do it. I mean, people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody finds an excuse of why they can't be on a panel. They don't want to take time away from work.
People I talk to, they think it's fun,
I want to do it, but I.
entertaining.
Okay,
There you go. Put her on the list.
Put her on the list.
We will take no action. We'll move forward. All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Greg, John.
I know we have other issues to come before the commission. We had pre-bid this morning. Talk a little bit about that, Chris.
Yeah. So it was brought up this morning, a couple things on the janitorial supplies. One was, did we make a decision on the dispensers, whether the dispensers are ours or are they still the vendors? As far as these people going forward and bidding the new supply contract.
I think we said they were ours. I thought we discussed that and agreed to that.
Well, that's kind of what I thought
I
too.
disagreed.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't think they're ours.
They're not ours.
I don't think they are. I think they're the vendors, and as long as we're using their product, that they'll supply them to us to use. Jill, I don't know. We can holler at her. I know.
Once it's affixed to the wall, it's real estate.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
I mean, we just need to decide so they know how to bid it accordingly.
That's
I mean,
what
if
it
they're
comes down to. So
right, I mean, if their product doesn't fit in those dispensers, then of course they effectively have to supply new dispensers,
Right.
and try to come up with minimal damage. So,
where were we at on that? Because there were the emails going back and forth between Samco as well about a cost on them.
I don't think Samco's going to do anything. They don't have a leg to stand on.
Come take them down
If we tell them to get rid of them, they can come take them down. If we want to give them to them.
if they want them. I mean, if the contract runs out, they can come get them.
If we want to, we can offer them that opportunity.
so I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I think they were trying to put us in a precarious spot by what they were trying to pull on that.
agree.
But anyway, we just need to let these guys know where we're at on bidding. Do they need to supply dispensers? I mean, the dispensers in the jail are ours. We paid for those. So Jennifer needs to let them know in an addendum. So, I mean, I think they're ours at this point. So,
I agree.
so
You need a vote on that?
We need to probably do something for Jen to know and for her
Okay.
to let them know, because what happens if the provider now comes in and says, I'm going to fight this, and then it ends up he does taking them off the wall.
Then we worry about it then.
Then we're
But
gonna
we have
end
to
up-
make a decision for the bidding. You can't evaluate bids if you don't make
Then
a
we're
decision.
going to have to buy more dispensers, and they weren't very cheap.
We're not
from
buying any
over at the jail.
dispensers.
Yeah, because if they end up getting those back and take them off the walls, we're going to have to replace them with something.
How are they going to take them back?
They're theirs.
So they're going to trespass on our building and take stuff off our walls.
They're gonna take their stuff off our
It's
walls.
not their stuff.
It is too. They supplied it while
You
we're
show me
using
where
their-
there's some document that says property of Samco.
Where does
'Cause
it
the
say it's our property?
Once it's screwed on the wall, it's ours.
Then my dear head, I can't take off the wall.
Did you screw it in, or did you hang it on a hook?
There's a screw in the wall.
You should have screwed it in.
I'm in a good mood today to argue, so I've got all day.
It's
Okay.
it's not the dispensers are no different than cabinetry. When you install cabinetry in a house, it's part of the real estate. It's not personal property anymore.
I disagree, because if you put curtains up, they don't stay. They're screwed to the walls.
So I said cabinetry. Cabinetry.
Okay, I'm going
It's
to get out of the weeds here.
storage.
So,
I thought we meant
yeah, I move that we instruct Jennifer that the dispensers are ours for the bidding process of the janitorial supplies.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
All right, there you go.
And
That'll win.
Then we had one other issue this morning. So we had a mandatory pre-bid that started at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And we had a couple people that came in late. And so we need to decide whether being at the meeting is constitutes attendance, or being at the meeting on time constitutes attendance.
You
So you're saying, so we need to hand out tardy slips to people? I feel like I'm dealing with kids
we
in
know, we
school.
just penalize them. They got to buy the first round.
Yes, sir.
Did the meeting start prior to 8 o'clock?
7:59.
I have no idea what time the meeting started. I was not here.
It did, and it was.
I think
It's
at
not
the-
really has anything to do with that, but I did bring up that point because
I mean, how long did the meeting go?
30 minutes.
Was everybody in attendance at the meeting?
yes, at 8 o'clock, no. At 8:05, what
A
time did you
mandatory
show up?
pre-bid meeting will
8:06?
be held at 8 a.m. CST on Wednesday, June 4th. Attendance is a prerequisite. I don't see anything that says attendance at 8 a.m. is a prerequisite. I see attendance at the mandatory pre-bid meeting.
And that's what I mentioned. Somebody did bring it up and said, no, it says they have to be there at 8 o'clock. I said, I don't think it has to be there at 8 o'clock, and the meeting started 1 minute early, too. And then that's what Jen did.
Yeah, I mean, I
Don't
I
bring
think
it.
you can argue it both ways. I mean,
It's ambiguous.
I mean,
I'd rather have more bids than fewer bids.
I don't disagree. I mean, when you're late, you're late. I mean,
I mean,
and
if-
nothing against you guys. I mean, had you been,
We were the ones late, so.
if you
go
had
ahead.
been, if you had been here at a couple minutes late, but you guys were 15 to 20 minutes late, and so, I mean, that's just
The way I look at it is this: mandatory pre-bid meeting. If you're here, you're here for the meeting. If you're not, you're not. If you're not at the meeting at all, you're out. If you're here, you're here. If you miss something during the pre-bid meeting,
It's on me.
and it turns out that becomes a swing item in a bid, you got no leg to stand on.
That's on me.
So
We accept that.
that's how I see it.
yeah.
I'm just one of three.
Do we need to vote this?
Well, here's the deal. I would have them submit a bid no matter what, and then if it becomes an issue, then we can vote on it and say, we talked about
Why make them go through doing a bid if you're going to reject it? Say that they weren't on time. I mean, that's silly. That I
it. We
disagree
just
with
said
that.
we're not going to reject it, so then, okay, let's make a motion then that you were at the meeting, we're going to accept
Do we have
it.
an attendance list?
Yes.
There's no times on there. We didn't take a
I don't
roll
care.
call,
Do we have an
so
attendance list?
Yes.
We have to start taking
Jennifer
roll calls.
does.
Jennifer has an attendance list.
Yes.
We'll put on the list that roll call 8 o'clock a.m.
Sign their name.
Yep.
Then everybody who signed their name, in my opinion, is as long as they were here during a course of the meeting, they're qualified to submit a bid. And if we do mandatory pre-bids in the future, we'll just tighten the language, whichever way we want it. I don't really care one way or another, but I don't think it's fair. The language is ambiguous. I think that it is what it is.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, I would probably vote against you because you were here late. But that's just the way it is. But
That leaves it to you.
I'm fine with that. It'd be different if they showed up at 8:20. So, we didn't put anything in the language that said you had to be here at 8 o'clock, 8:03.
Okay,
758.
let's move forward.
So-
If you're on the list, then you submit a bid, so.
And
Sound-
we can tighten language up
Okay.
next time, so roll call will be taken at 8
Turn-
o'clock.
turn in
If you're not
bid.
available then,
Thanks, guys.
see y'all.
Chip,
Good.
you got something?
Just hanging out.
Hey, wow, must be a slow news day.
It was raining this morning. Couldn't call.
Yeah, well, sun's out. Sun's out when I came over. All right. Do we have anything else to come before the commission this morning?
This is a contingency expense transfer,
So, this is all in sales tax. It's
Okay.
all inside of the sales tax.
but is this just to cover the extra?
The extra, and as you saw, the city approved, and we'll get a cooperative agreement with them, and they'll write us a check.
Okay,
So this is so that there's the two sides of the line balance,
Okay.
where they don't balance.
right. So the 400,000 was to cover that extra,
This is it's
the
it's-
1.4
and it's actually a
roughly.
timing.
Right.
We're moving it this year because we're not going to spend it this year. And then
Okay.
as the revenue comes in, we'll move it back.
And then
in.
a 72,000, was that the Arcturus
it's
contract?
it's combined.
Okay.
We needed 472,000 that we had to move
Okay,
because the rest we already had in the cooperative projects line,
okay.
and then we just move it back out.
Good by me.
Anything else? Going once?
I just wanted to, I was supposed to meet with Amoresco tomorrow over at EMS. I don't know if you've been out there at all. They're making some pretty good progress.
You
but-
go out there and look.
It was on their Facebook page last night.
Yeah. So anyway, they hit rock on that upper side where they're going to have some doors coming out. So not a big deal. They just cut the floor and they're bringing all the plumbing and stuff out the front. But anyway, they started cutting and clearing all that brush and stuff. And so the thought was to maybe look at clearing all that off. I mean, it's kind of just a mess up
It's
there.
ugly up there.
And anyway, so they started cutting that, and we just didn't want to get a bank. We wanted to be able to maintain it once we get it all cleaned up. So just going to try to meet with them. I think it's moved to next Tuesday now, but just to try to get an idea of what we can do so that we can clean it up and maintain it. And no cost as of yet, but you know, if there is something, they'll be
Bring it
coming
back
back.
to us,
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm good with that. Anything else?
No, that's kind of weird. I thought we had all kinds of stuff we were needing to. Does Debbie have anything she wants to talk about?
Oh,
while
she's
we're
gone.
here? Oh, yeah, she had orthodontic
So,
appointment.
yeah, I knew she didn't
so-
have anything she needed to bring up, so I think we've covered everything.
Alrighty.
When are we getting
I was trying to hold
BOE?
Jeff up a little bit.
Do we have dates on BOE yet?
Yeah, we won't get those until
And if
till we have the other two people. And I think Marvin was going to contact. I mean, I was okay with Dana and
Scott,
Scott.
if Scott's not going to do it, then I'd just recommend maybe talk to HBA and whoever the president is at the
Yeah.
time can be the one to serve on it. And
Because Ken served last year, right?
he's done about
He
3
did
or 4 years
a
in a
bunch
row
of
that
years.
I've been up here, and you know, I hate going to the same bowl and dipping out of it and let him. Heck, he's retired. Let him be retired. And
Yeah.
so
I'm fine with that. That works for me.
okay.
I'm
Well,
okay
no.
with it as long as the assessor shows up.
Well, he was on the radio today saying that the reason Judy quit was because the
was our
commission disagreed. The commission, which is a minority of the BOE, disagreed with her appraisal, even though we're a minority.
I'm not going to say anything.
He was singing that song on the radio awful hard this morning. I was so. Oh well.
Yep, is what it is.
He was also trying to explain how when he keeps losing in the Court of Appeals, that it's really that the Court of Appeals doesn't know what they're doing.
Well,
He's
that-
practicing law too now, I guess.
We're in there with the Court of Appeals. We don't know what we're doing either. So
All right, I'd entertain a motion to stand in recess.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you all very much. See you, Jeff.
Jeff.
Well, that was quick.
I like quick.